done. Intro. It's intro time. Shush. Everyone shut up. What's going on, main characters? It's your boy Talks Too Much with Third Party Studios. Welcome back to the podcast. It's me and the boy Cody. We in the studio.
Studio?
We're rocking it out today, dude.
We got a studio?
We got a studio. We got all the cool news to get into today. Actually, we got some really big news with James Bond we're going to be getting into. That one's actually kind of a huge story. And obviously we got one that's a little bit more funny, one that's really, really sad, and one that's kind of just a little bit of Schadenfreude, I guess.
We're going to fuck with your emotions.
We're going to go on a roller coaster, and you guys are coming along on the journey with us. But before we get into that, what have you been up to this week, dude? Are you playing still? So you're still playing Marvel Rivals? Is that the main thing now?
Got back into it and played it for 8 hours last night. And by last night, I mean also this morning.
This day? Yesterday plus 2 day?
Yeah, I got like 2 hours of sleep, so my memory's going to be a little shot this morning. But
bitch, you know what time it is? It's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
Gabriel Iglesias, fucking hilarious.
Yeah, and then also got into Mordhau.
Mordhau? I don't even know what that is.
It's offshoot of Chivalry, basically.
Okay.
It was made by either some developers or fans of the first game. I don't remember. Of Chivalry 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm digging in a lot more than Chivalry 2 right now, to be honest.
Seriously?
Yeah.
What's better about it? The mechanics, the game, like the
mechanics? No, it's way less clean when it comes
more
to
choppier.
When it comes to like duels and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It's just got more like fun. It's not as punch the wall aggravating.
Oh, so I mean, like
you don't take the games that seriously. It's like, why isn't everyone on the objective? It's like, yeah, fuck it.
Yeah,
there's a dude running around playing a lute all the goddamn time, or surfing on a shield. There's some weird shit going on.
People are just having fun in the game.
Yeah.
How dare they?
Yeah. And the customization is infinitely better. More weapons, and you can actually like do what you want with your character.
Well, I was actually pretty impressed.
You can make him a dwarf.
I thought Chivalry 2 was actually kind of impressive when it came to weapon combinations. I mean, considering how the mechanics for combat worked, I was pretty impressed that they had like you could throw almost anything you had, it seemed.
Yeah.
And you had a bow you could use, but the bow seemed incredibly like weak to me. Like I don't know.
And yeah, if you're on console, it's a bitch to hit anyone with a bow. On Mordhau though, it seems easier. I don't know. It like on Chivalry 2 they have aim assist for console players because we suck.
No, because they're just an inferior class of player. They just can't.
My thumbs aren't as good as your mouse.
Exactly.
But yeah, on Mordhau it doesn't feel like there's any assist, but yet I feel like I get hits way more often.
Well, that's awesome.
But so far it's been more fun than playing Chivalry.
Do you think it'll keep your? I mean, you've gone back to Chivalry for a long time. It's been over like years.
Yeah, I got about like 400 hours into it.
So I mean, like, do you think this one will like? Do you think the novelty of the fun will like keep you in the game, or do you think you'll gravitate back? Because I'm not like innocent in this. Counter-Strike brought me right back to it, and I wouldn't say I've had fun in that game, but
I wouldn't call it fun, but I've been into it.
Well, I don't
know. So far, yeah, I'm gonna stick with Mordhau.
Well, I made the comment last week, I think, that I don't play any game long enough to be great at it, just long enough to know when I'm better than other people, and so I can get pissed off about it. I've got 3,000 hours into that game. Just for context, great players start getting like amazing at like 8,000, 7,000 hours, 10,000 hours, right? Like absurd amount of hours.
Like, all right, this is the player count on Steam right now for Mordhau. 441 players.
Dude, that's Concord levels. Like in the same field as Concord.
It's been out for like 6 years, and like there were the whole all-time peak was 60,000, but like the skill curve is kind of So I played Chivalry 2 for 400 hours or more, so I got the basics, and it plays kind of the same, so I could just
jump in
hop
and
into Mordhau and actually damage some noobs. But
I remember when you introduced me to Marvel Rivals, because you introduced me to it. I didn't find it organically. I load up, or it's free game, download it, load up, get ready to start playing, jump on. I was asking how the characters played, because my only reference point was Overwatch,
right?
And I was like, who kind of plays like Moira or like the she's some sort of like, her name's like synth something or Cynthia or synthesis or whatever, where she throws these little Symmetra, yeah, she throws these little drones across the map and laser beams everyone without having to shoot them. Like, I asked who played.
You want a very low skill character.
I want a character that, yeah, and in games like that, like Halo was another one where I was like, the sniper in Halo is unfucking usable unless you just have some sort of weird autism that just makes you a god. And so when it came to this, I asked who played like that, and you told me Black Widow. No, not Black Widow. Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch. I knew it was a color and then a thing.
It was a color and then a lady.
Scarlet Witch. And so I play as her, and I go 43-1 in my first game, and I was like, oh, okay. So this is how it's going to go.
Easy peasy.
And then it gradually just kept getting worse and worse and worse as the meta evolved and the game became more popular and we got more people in it, people taking it seriously, competing in it. And then I struggled to learn all the characters who I would probably do well with. I struggled to learn how to get started with them.
You gotta get good, cuz. I mean, so we're on season 2 right now of Rivals. Season 1, casually playing on like ranked and whatnot. Got up to like gold 1. Then dipped out until the end of the season, which is like 2-3 weeks or whatever when I dipped out. And then in this season, solo queuing, I can't get out of silver. It's fucking annoying. Everyone just wants to play DPS all the time, which that is a problem in any hero shooter, but it's just getting bad.
Well, and I'm glad that they have, because honestly, they've done a good job of introducing or of adding games and updating it, which I'm very appreciative of, because I do think that this game is doing a good job of taking care of the community, trying to make sure that people have more stuff, trying to make sure that the map, like, they add more maps, they add more characters, they add more abilities, they rebalance. That's the kind of like community care you need in a long running game, especially if you're going to have a live service game that's free to play. I mean, I don't understand, like, when people push back on us for like the comparison against Overwatch. They're like, it's not Overwatch because it's first person shooter versus third person shooter. I'm just like, dude, that's not good enough.
6v6 hero shooter. Started with Overwatch, everything's gonna get compared to Overwatch. Same with Souls-like games.
Yeah,
Souls-like is its own genre because of Dark Souls.
You almost make it like the categories almost develop themselves, because it's not even, you can't even say an RPG like a action RPG anymore. That category encompasses 10,000 games.
Yeah, the term RPG role-playing game has been way over abused.
Yeah, it's anything.
It's applied to anything now with a skill tree, and it's annoying.
And sometimes it's not even a skill tree. Like, I would say Bannerlord is a skill tree, even though it's more of like character min-maxing, like it's more ability selecting versus like you're upgrading down specific paths. It's close enough that there's a little bit of nuance to it, but the short point is that anything with a skill tree is, in my mind, not good enough. Like, I would say Destiny, like, you remember Destiny shooters where they had their like abilities? I mean, the only thing you
looter shooter, not RPG.
Yeah, it's categorized as an RPG because you can pick between which element you want in which Titan class you want, and which
Witcher 3
class.
is an RPG.
Right. It gets new.
Kingdom Come is an RPG.
When you're sifting through 10,000 games or more about that have the RPG tag on, say, like Steam or on other games to purchase stores, you're not gonna have an easy time having those conversations, because everyone's like, no, it is a skill tree, it is an RPG, and you can't really. People who are already settled into those opinions are not going to shift because you added a little bit of nuance to the conversation to create subcategories. But
it's like, I've been playing AC Odyssey, and that's considered, an action RPG.
Yeah,
it's like, no, it's just an action adventure game.
Yeah, which is good enough. If we sorted the categories properly, you probably would have a lot. Honestly, first, we know what the industry likes better. We know what the community like enjoys more. But I mean, if it's nice that the point I was originally making was that the fact that you have Souls-like games or Overwatch games or hero shooters, I mean, the fact that we are creating subcategories organically through the community by saying these games play like Overwatch, that's a subcategory of hero shooter now, where it's payload escort and missions like that, team min-maxing, all those abilities. So honestly, that's cool. I'm glad you got back into it, because I don't know.
The funny thing about Mordhau player count right now, I'm looking at it on Steam, and it's this is daily. It's peak 1300 at about this would be 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then low goes down to 500-ish or whatever about 2:30 in the morning, and it's consistent every day.
So
it's just peaks and valleys, just up and down every day.
So they're loyal.
It's apparently.
How do you spell the game?
MORDHAU.
I'm just curious, see if they have a web page. Mordu on Steam. This one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I saw Demon Horde. I was like, it's a zombie game?
It's a game mode. I haven't even tried it yet.
Again, I'm not criticizing it. I'm just saying I haven't played it, so I was just curious what it looked like. But yeah, this looks like if you just took the pictures and printed off 50 pictures from Chivalry 2 and 50 pictures from this game and placed them all on the table, I don't know if I could sort them properly. These look close enough to each other that at least at first glance, the marketing looks so similar to Chivalry 2. I don't know if I would have been able to pick out the difference just from the marketing material.
Noob.
So it's cool that it's cool to play together. You know, I've been into I started rewatching a show on Crunchyroll, Harmon Quest. Dude, I roll all you want. Harmon Quest is so fun, so funny. Did you ever sit down and see it?
Yeah, no, I know and I've seen a few episodes. It's funny, but like they play it off as like it's just like almost like improv.
Yeah.
And I think it's way more staged than it actually is.
No, actually, so
because you got people on there that have never played a day in their lives.
So yes, so here I can actually clarify that. So in the edited versions of the show, so they have 3 seasons out right now, and then they do Harmon Quest Expanded Universe, I think is what it's called. They have 2 seasons, quote unquote seasons, but it's basically just like collection, like a collection, blooper collections from those episodes. And in some of them they actually talk about like, did you have pre notes before we sat down? Like they have an idea of like how the story is going to progress and play out. And then the whole thing is actually like an hour and a half of gameplay that they whittle down into 25 minutes of like the show. Right. So they crop out all of it. So it is hyper edited. I mean, in the context, but I mean, I would say that most of the jokes they do in real time are, I would lean into them probably being more like improv. I mean, you don't have Jeff Davis going up to Dan Harmon and being like, "Hey, you want to make this joke happen?" Let's
write a script real quick.
Exactly. I'm not convinced it's scripted. I am convinced the story outline is there, and that Spencer Crittenden, the executive producer for the show, has basically told everyone this is the progression path we're going to follow along. Have fun, play, like do cool things with it, but yeah, this show's on Crunchyroll, and basically what I would say to anybody is like, it's Dan Harmon, so you know there's going to be some comedy to it. Whatever your criticisms of him, I don't think he's the funniest creator out there. And if you know Dan Harmon from his participation in Rick and Morty, that's the guy who plays the main character of the show. And it's hilarious. I do find it super fun. The one thing I really like about this is good for like anybody. What I did, like I was on vacation and we were at a ski resort. And I was with my family. There's 15 of us in an Airbnb. And we were trying to find something to throw on TV that wasn't just cable. So I plug in my Roku, throw this on, and we got 10 people sitting on the couch just watching it and just in it.
Yeah, it is dumb enough where you can just tune in. I didn't realize that it's quit 6 years ago already.
Yeah, it's been, so COVID killed it. There was supposed to be a season 4, or at least they were pitching a season 4. And my understanding is that it's a low cost production mostly. The animation is going to be the hardest and most expensive thing, but they rent a studio, they go out there with themselves, they do the story all on their own as a group, and then they don't have writers, so it's just Dan Harmon, Jeff B. Davis, I'm sorry, I didn't forget her name on purpose. It's Dan Harmon's ex-wife.
Sexist.
Erin McGathy. I just watched it last night. They introduce each other at the beginning of every episode, so it's. But yeah, Harmon Quest, absolutely hilarious. Love this show. I started rewatching it. But in the bloopers, they do clarify. Yes, they do all have an understanding of what the show is, and they actually do for people who haven't played, they do have like a 5-minute test, quote unquote, session where they're like, here's a puzzle, solve it using the game, and then they do it, and then once they've gotten through that, they jump right in. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
How many times have you rewatched this show?
It's Too many. Too many. So the show is from 2016 to 2019, so it's not a ancient show. I mean, it's in this decade. It came out and concluded in this decade, so it's not old. But I probably
You even got that wrong. It's not in this decade.
Well, I mean, I'm saying the decade we are currently participating in is, I'm not talking 2020 to 2020 or to 2030. I'm talking 2025 to 2015. Talking about in the last decade.
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
you're making up the rules.
In the last decade. Well, yeah. See, there's no way to do this right without a little bit of good faith in the conversation, you bitch. Got at least. Why am I feel so not seen
in
right
the
now.
last decade would have been a way to word it.
But then you would have been like, that's 2010 to 2020. That's
no.
Well, which also would have been right too, I suppose. But no, Harmon Quest, how many times have you rewatched it? I probably rewatch the show once or twice a year. I watch the show a lot. But you can just throw it on in the background, and if you just get a few giggles or if it's something fun in your day, then cool. It's also like an easy show to just fall asleep to if you're not trying to think about anything and just want something to chuckle at on the screen.
Yeah, I guess I would recommend that more than falling asleep to YouTube, because YouTube gets weird. If you just leave it on and go to sleep.
Oh, yeah. Well, and what was I going to say?
I'm going to fucks with your algorithm so much.
You know what's going to like lose us fans and subscribers, people? I hate Friends. I hate that show so much. I've watched plenty.
I'm indifferent to it.
I've watched plenty of it, and I understand. Like, I'm not taking away its acclaim. It's a huge show, insanely popular. Started off a couple of successful careers and a lot of failed ones.
Yeah, a couple.
But ultimately, I just find it, like with most sitcoms, if you pull the laugh track out of them, you realize how cringy and unfunny these jokes are.
Oh, dude, have you seen Big Bang Theory without the laugh track?
That's what I mean.
That's the worst show ever.
That is what I mean. It's that's how I feel about Friends. Like, I've watched like some clips of Friends with the laugh tracks pulled, and dude, it is cringy and just awkward and lame. And I mean, I won't say that the chemistry between the actors isn't good, and they don't have it. Again, they've earned their acclaim. They've done their part. They've done everything they can to put out a great show.
It was the 90s,
yeah,
bro.
I know. It's just never going to be for me. And I've tried. I gave it my very best shot.
Yeah, it's a whatever sitcom to me.
However, Harmon Quest has an 8.3 out of 10. And I am at least 8 out of that vote. All right. We do have other stories to jump into today, so we should probably do that. What do you think about?
That would be nice.
Sorry. All right, I'm dragging this out. Yeah, let's jump into our first story of the day, and it's a big one. So the news comes from from That Park Place. Amazon wrestles control of James Bond away from the Broccoli family as Jeff Bezos asks Instagram who the next 007 should be. So we got to talk. Okay.
First off,
go ahead.
Should we refer to them as the broccoli? Because saying broccoli just feels weird to me.
Well, I mean, which is correct? Which is
Everyone's been saying broccoli.
I don't have. I mean, I'm not saying it disparagingly. It's spelt broccoli.
I like broccoli.
I don't. Yeah, it's like if people called me Talks to Munch, I wouldn't like give them a hard time over it. It'd be cool. But fine, we'll call them broccoli.
And we'll call them broccoli,
and it'll be okay.
Yeah.
And if they have a problem with it, they can put out a press statement or something.
You're gonna get sued for defamation.
Defamation
of broccoli, bitch.
Broccoli. The Broccoli family. I mean, you can't have mobsters with that name.
It's just weird saying broccoli sold 007 to Amazon. It's like, what is this, VeggieTales?
Well, so yeah, we should actually probably get into a bit of the history with that. So the MGM Studios has had... my understanding is that MGM Studios has had ownership of 007 for a while, but the contract gives creative control to the Broccoli family, and to the Broccoli. Yeah, so they have retained creative control over the James Bond universe, but MGM has the rights to the productions and to the IP.
Amazon owns MGM now. So.
Yes. Yep. So. In the article, in a move that sent shockwaves through Hollywood, Amazon MGM Studios has officially taken creative control over iconic James Bond franchise. For decades, the world's most famous spy was careful was carefully shepherded by longtime producers Barbara Broccoli, Michael G. Wilson. Now that era has come to an end as the franchise falls into the hands of Amazon, the same company that notoriously mishandled Lord of the Rings with the controversial Rings of Power series. There's nothing controversial about it. There's nothing controversial about it. Rings of Power is objectively trash. They lost a huge portion of their audience on the pilot of the series, and from season 1 to season 2, they lost an additional 60% of the remaining audience they had left.
It was actually more than that, but yeah.
Yeah, it's something like closer.
It was like 63, 64.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was, yeah, this studio is going, James Bond is dead. This whole project is scrapped.
Oh, you know they're gonna treat it like any other franchise. Like we got Ballerina coming out, and it's from the world of John Wick, Ballerina.
Yeah.
Now they're gonna come up with a bunch of shows like from the world of 007.
Yep.
Here's this bitch.
006, 008.
Yeah.
All the spin-off shows. They're gonna have a
It's
origin
not gonna
story.
be a movie every few years or so. It's gonna be TV series that suck.
Well, and Barbara Broccoli actually is accredited with holding Amazon's feet to the fire on like these projects, because Amazon executives keep coming up with, hey, let's do a spin-off show, let's do something else, let's recast, let's do this. And Barbara has put her foot down, and she's quoted by saying, "Have you read the contract?" And
it's we do movies, and James Bond is English.
Exactly. Which he doesn't have to be English. I would think an American would be better. But don't worry,
I think American can play a better British spy.
There'll be a state soon. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, that'll be the 50th.
We don't want your giant rock. We don't.
After we annex England or Canada.
Yeah. We got a few first, but
we got a continent to conquer first.
We got things to do, man. But yeah, exactly. So obviously she let the reins slip with this recent project where they had to race and gender swap like James Bond in the No Time to Die, and you had Daniel Craig literally being nuked. Being literally bombed.
I honestly don't know anything about the last movie of Daniel Craig's James
No
Bond.
Time to Die.
I didn't watch it, and very few people talked about it.
Let me just break it. I mean, I'm sure.
I know what's her face is in it.
So let me just give that movie let me say where it was good real quick. I did think that Daniel Craig played James Bond well. I thought the acting was good. I love the villain. It's the same actor who plays Freddie Mercury in the Queen biopic movie.
I'm not a fan of that actor. Actually.
You don't like him? No. I loved him in
Rami Malek.
Yeah, I loved him in Mr. Robot. I thought I think he's good over generally speaking, but or at least he's casting good stuff. But yeah, he played the villain. I thought he did a good job in it. He
is playing that new movie that's coming out where he works for the CIA, but he's like a tech
intelligence.
Guy. Yeah. That actually looks pretty good.
That looks great. Yeah, I think it'd be really cool to see a spy who's not actually like a karate badass, but actually just like a dangerous kind of you're mentally breaking psychopath kind of character who's just a super genius.
I know shit and I drink.
Well, that's kind of like Taken, except Taken was like he's brilliant and super smart, but also still like a super spy where he's just a badass kicking.
Yeah, a 60-year-old Irishman just kicking people's asses.
I love Liam Neeson.
I like how we made him into an action
God for
hero.
you, Liam Neeson.
We made him into an action hero in his 50s.
Hell yeah.
Because he's got to be damn near 70 now.
He's an ancient. Yeah, he's ancient. I think his most intimidating role he ever played was that shopper at the grocery store in Ted. That was my favorite role. I'm to understand these tricks are exclusively for kids.
That's a weird friendship. Seth MacFarlane and
Liam Neeson.
He's also in A Million Ways to Die in the West.
Yeah, I mean, it probably just has some fun with it. Can you imagine being super serious? Like he's got to be dying laughing as soon as they yell cut. He's got to. I never met Liam Neeson. Don't know anything about him personally, but I assume someone who's that serious in roles is actually freaking hilarious. You know how Anthony Jeselnik, the comedian, he plays like this really dark asshole on stage, like with his comedy, but then he goes on Joe Rogan. He's like super soft and doesn't like that kind of comedy. And I'm just like, what the hell?
He's changed.
Yeah. You've changed.
His ego has gotten way too big.
Oh yeah. I mean, famous person. It's
yeah, true.
The kind of just tracks. But
I'm the best.
So we've got decades of James Bond being under the family's ownership and being shepherded and stewarded. And I would say that the franchise has earned its place in history as one of the biggest and greatest franchises of all time. You probably would have a hard case making the you'd probably have a hard time making the case that every one of the movies was financially successful and James Bond's as popular as, say, like Star Wars, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's been going on for 60 years and they've made a fuckload of movies.
Yeah. So I mean, it's long running, it's huge, but
it's huge.
It's huge, but
they're trying to replace James Bond. And
Well-
there's been a few attempts to make it a chick.
Yep. Well, Daniel Craig was literally bombed, and assuming that they didn't like explode him on screen and then have some sort of weird thing where he took a super pill and then he survives explosions, so that he comes back. It's like, oh,
Dude, he's been out for a long time. He had a 3-movie contract to play Bond.
and he
It was
wanted out.
It was supposed to end at Skyfall, but he just kept on going. And he's like, fucking hates this character and hates
Mhm.
playing it.
I can imagine. I mean, I think Daniel Craig is probably an underutilized actor, generally speaking. I think he probably could do more. I don't know if he's just got typecasted and stuck in James Bond or what happened, but he does. He's been
Oh.
pretty honest about not liking James Bond as a role.
Yeah, so the reason why he kept doing it after Skyfall is because Skyfall grossed $1.4 billion.
Whew.
And
Woo-wee.
everything else barely even came close.
Yeah, that tracks. Casino Royale, I don't think made a lot of money. If it made money, I don't think it made a lot of money, even though it's honestly, I think the one I like the most.
Everyone loves Casino Royale, and
Yeah.
then everyone's kind of wishy-washy on the rest. But adjusted for inflation, Casino Royale made about $119 million.
Yeah, that's not much.
And then Quantum of Solace, which no one gave a fuck about, that was the worst one.
Right.
It still made about 800.
800 million?
Yeah,
Okay. That's fine. I think you could, that's money.
that's money.
I'll take that.
Just looking at these inflation numbers is weird.
I would love to know how No Time to Die went, because in 2021, you're talking COVID, you're talking Hollywood, like chaos, nothing in theaters, people starving for good action films, and then your James Bond hits the screens, and you're like, Daniel Craig, everyone like thinks that Daniel Craig is the James Bond for this age, so it's like, I'm curious to know how No Time to Die performed monetarily.
$771 million.
So less than Quantum Solace
Yes.
at 800 something.
Adjusted for inflation again, it kind of. This is only 3 years ago, and if you're adjusting for inflation, it almost
Oh.
adds $100 million on it because of the inflation of the past 4 years.
Yep. We're getting political. No, I'm just kidding.
It's fucking. That's what's so weird about looking at the.
The adjusted numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bizarre. But I was curious to know how it performed. Now okay, so in No Time to Die, I thought the acting was good overall. I thought everything was pretty fine. And then I thought the story was actually really fun. I enjoyed it. I thought this action sequences were very James Bond. I felt like I was watching a traditional James Bond film when watching it. So I thought they were on the right track. The things that obviously stood out to me as a problem were the race swap, gender swapped, boss bitch, James Bond,
yeah.
the new James Bond. They had the meme in there where the person in charge is like 007, and they both look at her, and I'm just like, God damn it, stop fucking being stupid. And so they did it anyway. So yeah, Daniel Craig's character's killed off, so it's moot.
Yeah, she was actually supposed to become the next James Bond. It was supposed to roll off, and
everyone, I think even normies hated her because she was annoying as shit in that movie.
what the fuck is her name? Oh, Lashana Lynch.
She was annoying. Her character was absolutely ridiculously just bitchy for no fucking reason.
She's got caterpillars sitting over her eyes, man.
Jesus.
Looking at her pictures, eyebrows, bam.
Oh man. No, I hope that honestly, I don't care about the James Bond universe in the sense of like it's a franchise I want to preserve desperately. Like I feel far more impassioned about like Lord of the Rings, which Amazon already has their grubs on, Warhammer 40K, which Amazon already has their grubs on. Smaller projects like
Which Amazon already has their.
Yeah, Invincible, Has Been Hotels, and like more so an indie project considering its source and its origin. Yeah, so Amazon has their hands on a lot of things. Halo is dead. Star Wars dying. You know, you have this conversation with people about Warhammer 40K when the female custodies retcon came out, and they were like, "Why do you care?" It's like, dude, why don't you care? It's like, how many different franchises have to completely die before you give a shit about what happens to yours?
I care because my daily life I don't care about.
Exactly. I'm just like, dude, normies, you're gonna find out that you're gonna look online for a new movie, show, game, collectible comic, trading card, whatever it is of the franchise you've loved your whole life, and you're gonna be like, dude, all of these suck. You're gonna hit that wall someday. And there's nothing in the market replacing these. I mean, you could have made the case 5-10 years ago that John Wick could eventually become big. But now you're like, Keanu Reeves is gone. There's no more star power in that movie anymore. The actor who plays the Continental Manager, I mean, he's not really, he's not enough to carry that franchise alone. And he's not even
dead.
Did he? Oh, I'm sorry. In Ballerina, they do a back.
Yeah.
They go back in time. So I saw him again, and that skipped a second for me. But you get my point, is that even the shows that have potential are being killed off by these major studios. So the fact that Amazon's had power with James Bond for a while, but I mean, they never had creative control over it.
Yeah. I mean, they've been trying to recast him for a while now. And now Bezos puts out a poll or whatever, and you just see Henry Cavill in the comments. Everyone wants Henry Cavill. Yeah. My actual pick, though, would be Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Well, and so Elon Musk Parody on X did the same thing.
Right.
And so the question is, who should play the next James Bond? To be completely honest, Idris Elba, that guy. I don't even know. I can't even think of anything that guy's been in. John Boyega, Michael B. Jordan, Daniel, that guy, Cillian Murphy, Tom Holland, Chris Hemsworth, and Michael Fassbender and Tom Hardy. I think Tom Hardy has the acting skills to pull it off. I don't think he looks anything like a James Bond.
I don't say he's suave. He's more gruff.
Yeah. I actually really like, and here's my take on this. I really think that you could have a 007, not a James Bond, but a 007 from Idris Elba or Michael B. Jordan. I would actually be kind of interested in seeing either of them do it. I don't think Cillian Murphy would be someone I'd want to see do it. Maybe Hemsworth. Tom Holland, no.
But I want him to do it with a hardcore Australian accent.
Yeah.
Hemsworth.
Yeah, be cast from...
Oh, I love...
He's a criminal. We can't be 007.
Take a martini.
He's from the island. I love his interview where it's an interview where he's having a conversation with one of his co-stars or something in one of his movies, and they're talking about how Australian is like the sexiest accent. Like, oh yeah, or for down under, babe.
You like that, love?
It's all so funny. I mean, anyone on this list that pulls for you? I mean, who do you think is?
My pick is Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Aaron Taylor Johnson is not on this list.
Yeah,
just tell me
this list sucks.
Well, okay, let me just pull up Aaron Taylor, what's his name then? Spell it? Is it
Aaron Taylor Johnson?
Well, I don't know if it's spelled
Aaron.
I mean, there's different variants to spelling Aaron. Okay, I see what you're going for.
Like he was in Bullet Train.
And, I liked
he played that like real Brit guy in Bullet Train. Or that dude to his right from the Gentleman TV show on Netflix. He's good too.
He's good. I think he could do a good job. Honestly, you're right. I think either of these guys could do a good job. I think what you want from a...
Because you can't cast Henry Cavill in everything.
No, I agree. And honestly, we need Henry Cavill 100% focused on holding Amazon accountable to Warhammer 40K.
Henry Cavill actually did audition back in like 2004 for James Bond.
I think he would have been... I mean,
he would have been like 21 at the time. He was very young.
Well, I mean, we all know he could do it. He was in Argyle, and that's sort of like what the character was loosely based on. Visually.
Argyle.
I didn't say it was a good movie. I'm just saying that's what he looked /
Did you watch that?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I think he's only in it for like 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's like reference points. It's like basically you're just getting snapshots and small moments with him in it. But
I think the cat has more screen time than he does.
Well, it's a cat, dude.
A cat in a backpack. Who's not gonna love it?
I don't know. This guy feels kind of I wouldn't really like him. I don't think I'd like either of these guys for it. I mean, they kind of feel very Hollywood douchey / like boy bandish kind of good looking. Not like actual.
That's the point of 007. He's supposed to be a good-looking dude.
Yeah, but he's also
Take the women.
He's
Shoot
also
the bad guys.
I don't want someone who looks like they just graduated from high school and have been in One Direction. Like I don't want anyone who playing 007 who looks like they came from One Direction.
He's supposed to kiss hands and shake babies, you know?
Like there's like a masculine good looking and then there's a feminine like good looking for men.
Well,
like,
that's what most of this list is effeminate men.
I don't think Chris Hemsworth is that at all.
No, he's not.
I don't think Idris Elba or Michael B. Jordan. Maybe Michael B. Jordan you could make a case for, but I still don't agree. I don't think he looks that way at all. So
why is Daniel Kaluuya on this when he's been in like 2 movies?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, his roles are actually incredibly insignificant.
He was good in both of them. He's in Get Out and
well, he
what's that other one?
He played the traitor in Black Panther.
No, Michael B. What?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, did he?
Well, okay, so it was like
I didn't watch that one. I
was
didn't
like
give a shit about that movie.
He's like one of the council members or like one of the leaders of one of the families or something. Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, like in the beginning of the movie? Or
yeah, he yeah, exactly. He's not in. I mean, he basically joins with Warmonger to, like, he betrays T'Challa to join Warmonger. So, yeah, that was the role he played. Again, completely insignificant. I think out of this list, I like Chris Hemsworth for it. I like Idris Elba and Michael B. Jordan. Please just don't say that they're James Bond. Like, just 007, come up with a new badass character name, and like just make a continuation of the 007 position.
It's just AI Sean Connery back into the movies.
Dude,
and he
please.
slaps women all the time.
When it comes to the AI/CGI conversation, my favorite conversation about it was the guy from Ghostbusters who passed away, and then they were talking about doing a new Ghostbusters movie, and they were like, we can make a CGI ghost of him come back to the movie and say hi. I'm like, dude, please? That would be so fucking funny. I would love that. Maybe it's a little dark, but I think it'd be hilarious.
We own your image.
We own
perpetually.
Forever. Even if you're
in perpetuity.
Especially if you're dead. So Henry Cavill
can't die.
Henry Cavill got some fan picks. You guys know my thoughts on the list here. We got Cody's point on it. And I just think this guy looks One Direction-y, and I think you could put him in a suit and give him a martini shaken, not stirred.
I've never seen one of those One Direction queers with a beard before though.
I don't know.
The beard makes a difference.
If you say so. I mean, I don't think so, but maybe. Bitch, it might though.
Whatever.
Was he the actor in Kick-Ass? Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another one.
He's been in a lot of shit.
I did not care about Kick-Ass.
He was in Craven. You know that movie that came out earlier?
The one that flopped super hard.
No one went to see?
Yeah. So he has star power.
Yeah, plenty of star power. I think it's mostly based off of his performance in Bullet Train that people are asking for, Aaron.
I think that's a fair argument. He played British well. He played guy in a suit fighting, or he can obviously do TV fighting well. Yeah, I thought he did well overall in Bullet Train.
All we know though is whoever they pick to be the next Bond will disappoint everyone.
True. I think that's true. I think the more important thing is that the franchise is going to die because they're going to do TV. Now they're going to be. So this is what, man, we can't end the story yet. We got to talk about how the fact that Amazon has been petitioning to do television shows, spin-offs, all these other sub-projects, not just movies, which is what the Broccoli family was hard stuck on. Said, you are just going to make movies.
Those damn broccolis, man.
Yep, you are not going to make a TV show. You're not going to make a spin-off. We're doing James Bond as a film, and we're going to do it right, or as good as possible. And now that that's out of the way, Amazon, the doors are open for them to do their spin-offs, their TV shows, their other characters, their origin stories, everything they've wanted to, and make the James Bond universe. That's what you guys, the audience, we are going to see. That is what's coming next. James Bond in theaters it's going to be rare relative to all the other material they're going to start pumping out. It's going to be turn on the pipes and watch the sewage flow.
Yeah, I think streaming kind of killed all franchises, to be honest.
Can you imagine? Like, I didn't see that coming. I think you're right, actually. I think that the streaming wars are now just a battle for how much unique content we have on our platforms, not the quality of what's on our platforms anymore.
Yeah, it's basically everyone's like fighting over which cable company is going to be in everyone's homes.
Yeah, it's frustrating. It is insanely frustrating. I think you are 100% correct, because the motivation now that, because the streaming studios are the ones buying up the IPs, not necessarily like an independent production company that wants to put out a movie in theaters. So yeah,
well, yeah, and then all those production companies are basically owned by these streaming services.
yeah. I mean,
Streaming got popular because it was cheap and you could just do it digitally. It had your shows on there. Cool. But now you gotta subscribe to like 5 different fucking streaming services, and it's just as much as having like cable or direct TV.
but the quality of your content is significantly worse. You can't even find decent content on one of the
Everything's
platforms
licensed
now.
out.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you want to watch this show? Sorry, it's on Hulu. But in order to get Hulu, you also have to get Disney Plus
And ESPN, ABC, Nat Geo, all the
We're
nonsense.
channel bundling again.
Which, yeah, we're channel. It all circled back. We just had cable with extra steps. It's just.
Oh my god, it's so good.
All right. We got more stories to get into, so let's jump into the next one. And I'm actually hyped for this one. So we were talking Assassin's Creed Shadows is back in the news. Obviously, the game has not come out, and we are still waiting on pins and needles for it to hit shelves. I'm so excited. Are you excited?
I thought it was gonna come out in February.
So
I didn't know it got pushed back again.
you're an idiot. You're always wrong, dumbass.
How much I care about this game, even though I love the franchise.
Well, it's the news that we're talking about isn't even about Assassin's Creed Shadows. It's about the Yasuke simulator.
Yeah.
So Yasuke simulator parodies Assassin's Creed Shadows with hilarious over-the-top Ubisoft trolling, releases on the same day. So nothing to say about the quality of the simulator game. The visuals they leave a little to be desired, but basically the complaints around Assassin's Creed Shadows have been their absolute refusal to do anything historically accurate when it comes to Japan. Like they've desecrated in the game the archway in the Japanese archway, and I apologize, I'm blanking on some of the history too, but I'm not the one telling you I'm historically accurate. They are. Blame them more than me, please.
Well, you know who developed the Yasuke simulator?
Oh, please tell me.
Historically Accurate Developers is the name.
That's the name of the studio. I love it so much. Yeah. So, and we're gonna pull up the trailer.
I gotta see. Is like, how many developers are there in this thing?
We're gonna pull up the trailer for you guys. Hopefully it plays well without any issues. So we're gonna do that. But as we're talking about this, the fact that it releases on the same day, the fact that it is directly attacking Assassin's Creed Shadows and Ubisoft, making fun of them,
And
trolling
it's
them.
already getting a fuckload of traction.
It's getting traction. Yeah. Geese and Gamers covered it. They did Jeremy over there did a trailer reaction to the trailer and pulled it up, and it was pretty fun to watch his breakdown on it. So I've seen the trailer. We're gonna go over it together though. So the low quality. So here's basically what the article says. Despite the lower poly characters models, Yasuke Simulator captures the look and feel of Assassin's Creed Shadows closely enough to potentially make Ubisoft's legal team sweat. The lighting, environments, and costumes are all designed to mimic Ubisoft's visuals, just with a satirical twist. And I love them for it. Thank you so much for that.
This is insanely accurate Yasuke game.
Yeah, so the backlash from Ubisoft deserved. So the historical inaccuracies, their depiction of Yasuke, and their insistence that he's a samurai, even though there's no historical precedent to lean on for that, or there's no record saying he was a samurai. In fact, all evidence points to the contrary. And he's honestly an insignificant character in Japanese history.
The amount of bullshittery that Ubisoft has done with this game is insane. Like adding basically hip hop music in the trailer.
Yeah.
Killing random civilians, you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
It destroys shit all over Japan. And
you have the I forgot the destruction of property.
Yeah, where you can just run through concrete. It's fucking weird.
Yeah, and then you have what was it, the fact that Assassin's Creed players have been begging for a setting in Japan for over a decade, longer,
almost 20 years.
And so over a decade, and the first one they get is they're going with Yasuke as the character choice, and then whatever the female side character is. You were supposed to be able to choose between these two different characters for different playthroughs, is my understanding of
you can swap in between them. Yeah,
you can swap.
But like, it's almost like that. Like you see Ghost of Tsushima, and a kid's like, "Hey, mom, can we get that?" And mom's like, "We got Ghost of Tsushima at home," and then it's AC Shadows. It's the Temu version.
It's the Temu version. I love it. So what does that make the simulator?
That's the Wish.com.
Wish.com.
Well, that's what you get.
Oh, Etsy.
Yeah.
So Ubisoft's nightmare. With Assassin's Creed already dealing with rocky promotional period, Yasuke Simulator is likely to add more fuel to the fire. From the unauthorized use of historical imagery in concept art to the infamous destroyed Torii Gate statue that resembled Hiroshima's post-bombing relic, Ubisoft's missteps have been piling up. Now with Yasuke Simulator directly trolling these controversies, it seems even indie developers are taking shots at the beleaguered franchise.
Beleaguered, but whatever.
I did my best.
What happened at Hiroshima? I haven't heard about it.
Oh man, it was kind of a big deal.
Was it?
I don't know. I wasn't there. We're gonna get into the politics, like the Tucker Carlson position on Hiroshima.
Was it like Nagasaki?
We're gonna talk. Like I've had this conversation about like, hey, we shouldn't have bombed civilians with like nukes, and
Bitch, we warned them.
it's like in English. And
No, we fucking flew over pamphlets. But
can you imagine just getting a bunch of pamphlets dropped over your head in Spanish or French or German?
You're like it was close enough, man. We got Mandarin. So,
but no, I've had this conversation with people about the bombing. I was like, maybe we shouldn't have just like destroyed 2 of their more populated cities and killed a bunch of civilians. And people
why
are like,
go for 2 right away? To be honest,
I don't know.
You settled for 1.
I mean, half even. Like you didn't even have to drop it directly in the middle of the city, just like on the off a little bit.
A warning shot, a nuclear warning shot.
I mean, can you imagine?
It'd just be like put that on the horizon, and be like, all right,
I don't
do
know
what we say, or the city's next.
I think 100,000 testimonies of its. I think 100,000 testimonies of its impact are probably more impact. I think that would be more impactful and better just than 100,000 corpses.
Yeah, you gotta get your point across.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
We do
you
our best.
can't take out, like, say you got a hostage, and you can't like just take out a hot dog and cut the end of it off and be like, all right, that's what's gonna happen to your finger.
So you're taking the just to clarify,
we're holding that city hostage.
You're taking the pro nuke the civilian population's position in this.
No, I don't have a dog in this fight. I don't care either way.
Well, there are no dogs there now. All the dogs are cooked.
I'm just being an asshole.
Is this too soon? I just don't know.
I don't know. It's been 80 years.
Oh man. All right, so
taking the pro nuke stance. Like, I didn't even realize I was doing that.
You're taking the pro nuke the civilian position. I love it. All right,
Devil's advocate.
So Yasuke, let's pull it up from the Steam website. So this is what we're looking at on the Steam page. Honestly, the promotional materials looks great for an indie developer, and I have no idea how long this game has been in development. I would love to know when they started.
I'm gonna guess a week.
Do you think? I think they pulled off a lot more than I think you could do in a week, but maybe I just have a misunderstanding of.
The thing I like about this trailer most, though, is the longer the trailer goes on, the more and more accurate it is to history.
Yeah.
So we should probably take a little look at it.
I was gonna add it to the wish list, but I'm not signed in, so won't do that. About this game, in the land where samurai roam and hold on, let me blow that up. Blow that up a little more. Sorry, trying to make that a little bit more visible for you guys. In the land where samurai roam and power is defined by the sword. Oh, I thought it was defined by your race. Yasuke, the only African warrior to rise to the ranks of the samurai, steps into the pages of history like a walking plot twist. It's 1579. Yasuke's arrival in Japan alongside Jesuit missionary joined Oda
Nobunaga
to help unite all of Japan. It's like that. It's that one Asian like rapper who has the black guy behind him interrupt him to say the N-word like for him and his
hype man.
Yeah, his hype man. I love that. So we got features. Play as Yasuke. Embrace your unique heritage as you navigate feudal Japan in a fight for survival and dignity. Master epic samurai combat, wielding your katana with style, precision, and flair, slashing through waves of adversaries. Unleash your inner warrior, tap into your ancestral power to perform devastating moves, and awaken the latent power that transcends time. Find secret gear across the map. The map is full of secret gear that you can find and use against your enemies. Historically historically accuracy. Am I reading that right? Historically accuracy?
Yeah, they fucked up on the word on that one.
Well, they did. I mean, if they're making a game, I could forgive them on their marketing grammar. The Yasuke simulator team has done its research and went above and beyond to provide a totally historically accurate depiction of feudal Japan with Yasuke the samurai. AI generated content disclosure.
I watched the fucking trailer.
We're getting there. I'm just trying to like give the audience what they want.
So much context.
Sorry. Yeah.
It's kind of redundant.
You shall be my samurai, Yasuke.
Yeah, this is
unify Japan. Go now to the streets. Fight your way up.
I love this so far.
Controlled by the Takeda clan.
Hold enough.
Or not.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I love this so much. This actually looks kind of fun to play in. Like, I mean, it's not AAA. It's indie. It's indie, and it's rushed. It's got a mission, and I can't imagine this is going to be a game that
wants to be as historically accurate as possible.
As Assassin's Creed Shadows, at least.
Yeah.
So,
so if we continue on here, it gets even.
It's a sniper rifle. I love this.
I mean, it almost feels like something that Ubisoft would put out, you know? It's like, it's historically accurate.
Well, please wish list this now. Yes, guys, guys, go wish list this. Check this out. It's gonna be funny.
I think it'll be better than purchasing AC Shadows.
Yeah, honestly, it would be. You know how big Among Us got, and even like Fall Guys and some of these like $2 video games got. They just became huge. I want this to do that.
They just turn this into like a multiplayer, like GTA Online.
Yeah, everyone has a different Yasuke skin. I mean player model skin. Like, I don't mean shut up.
You can't change his skin. That's the point.
But yeah, if you had like a team of 4 go in and all of them are Yasuke, but with different skins. They're called like the 3D models are called skins. I'm not changing my vernacular just because you guys are.
It's not me, man.
You guys are being silly about it.
It's the internet.
But dude, yeah,
I can't believe you want to change his skin though. That's wild,
dude. I mean, race swap. Just saying, it's we need more diversity in our black representation in feudal age Japan.
How's that foot taste in your mouth, man?
Great. Good timing. All right, we got more stories to get into, though. I think we should jump right over to... Oh, man, this is going to be fun. Assassin's Creed Shadows is done. I'm not talking about that anymore. We're talking about Captain America Brave New World.
It all fucking blends together.
It really does.
Are you racist?
Bitch, I might be. I'm just kidding. I'm not. Wink. So Captain America Brave New World, we got a lot of numbers came out of the first weekend, and with all the expectations for this movie and what they needed to hit for it, they got nowhere close. I don't think they're going to get even close to breaking even.
No, right now it's doing like
I'll pull
it's doing worse than Quantum Mania is at this point. And Quantum Mania didn't make any money back. I think it grossed a total of 400.
Yeah, so what do we got here? So the per IMDb stats, they estimated budget of 180 million for like the first time they made the movie, maybe, but every reshoot probably cost another 50 million at least.
This is such the most, like, you couldn't lie any better than 180 million. Say 220. More people can buy that.
Yeah. This
is the same budget that they reported for the Acolyte.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, we lied. It's actually 230 for the Acolyte.
It's never a number we trust. I mean,
lie better.
Yeah, we never sit on this podcast and go to the estimated budget on IMDb and be like, nailed it. No,
like the last Marvel movie that actually cost 100 million or 180 million dollars was made 15 years ago.
Yeah, nothing comes even close to it. And so, like, this movie, I think we were covering articles about this for weeks now, ever since. And then we did the review and we talked about it again. But the estimated budget is actually something closer to like 350 million. And some estimates are even putting it closer to 500 million after you include marketing.
It's up there, bro.
So it's $500 million is the more likely number than what they're giving us.
And Harrison Ford took half that.
He's going to die with it. He's gonna die. That money's going to die unspent. If you want to hate millionaires, it's like that guy. But the gross worldwide, so opening weekend got 88 million. Didn't Marvel's get like 30, or was it like Marvel's got something ridiculously low? But then we got the opening weekend at 88 million. The US and Canada gross 113 million between US and Canada so far, and then gross worldwide is 211 million today as of yesterday. So they're not even halfway to breaking even. And this weekend, the story we were pulling up here, and actually I didn't have that.
Oh, no. This one did almost twice as much as the Marvels did.
Oh, okay.
It was at 47 million was opening weekend for the Marvels.
Yeah, that so it did double what the Marvels did. But what is the other one, Quantumania? What did they do opening weekend?
Well, let's see here. In-house researcher.
Yeah, you're.
Go ahead and talk about.
You're
it
our
while I'm looking this
Jamie.
up.
You're our Jamie. So
just the worst version.
this movie, I'm so glad that they cut the movie down 40 minutes, because if they left this at a 2.5 hour long movie, I think less people, they would have hurt themselves even more.
Yeah, could you imagine that other 45 minutes? I definitely would have been out cold.
Well, like the only thing that I've seen that really turns away normies, because normies don't ignore a movie if they know it's out, or tend to not ignore it. What will turn them off is if the movie's runtime is long, because they think they have to turn their brain on. They think they have to start they believe they have to start thinking throughout this movie and start paying attention, and that it's going to take 3 hours instead of like an hour and 30 minutes.
I don't like that sentiment that movies have to be 2 hours or less. I mean, Chris Gore has argued for it. I think Gary from Neurotic has also argued for it.
I don't either. I mean, you look at all the movies that are across time that had all of these, like, the director's cuts.
Yeah, I want the epics to come back where they're like 3.5 hours long or something.
Like, make my money worth it. Like, make it so that my $50 at the theater actually gets me an experience. And it, like, I'm not petitioning for like 4 hour movies, even 3 hour movies I think should be a rarity, but I think a movie should take as long as it takes to tell the story properly. If you have to cut out segments of your project just to make it fit into a theatrical release, you're not giving me my money's worth, because I wanted to see the whole movie.
Yeah, I mean, did that start with like Ridley Scott and like Blade Runner?
Ridley Scott, well,
he's like his director's cut of, I think it's the director's cut. There's like 4 different cuts of Blade Runner, but director's cut of that was good.
Kingdom of Heaven.
Kingdom of Heaven comes out. Theatrical sucks. Director's cut's awesome.
Yeah.
Robin Hood with
Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe. Theatrical was lame. Director's cut's awesome.
Yeah.
It's like he just did that banger after banger, and then he lost his mind somewhere in the
and he just becomes bad at it.
Teens, and he was just shit as.
I wonder if the industry crippled his creativity. And I'm trying to be generous to him, because he has given us that list of movies specifically. So I'll take the gift and I'll give him credit for those. But ever since, he's dud after dud. Nothing's been good. Right. Napoleon was a horrible.
I was just gonna say there is a 4-hour version of Napoleon on Apple TV, and I've kind of wanted to watch it and just put myself through it, because the theatrical sucked.
It was bad.
And so you got another like hour and a half.
It was like anti-Napoleon propaganda. It was like, here's how stupid he was, plus also how much of a womanizer he was and a bad person he was, plus here's his kill list at the end of the movie.
Right.
It's like how bad he was. I'm just like
shooting cannons at the pyramids. It's like, what?
Yeah, just dude, are you just getting?
Are you?
You just getting off to saying how shitty historical figures are? Like, you guys like disillusion everyone from the people that they look up to across history. It's like you get off to it. The Captain America Brave New World is predicted to actually have a 70% drop into this weekend.
Oof.
70%.
Normal is about 50 to 60 when it comes to Marvel movies.
Yeah. So 70% would be up there with like some of the worst ones.
So this one grossed what, 88 in the first week?
So in the opening weekend between US and Canada, 88 million.
Okay. Ant-Man was 104.
Okay, so Ant-Man outperformed it. Wow.
Yes.
Okay, and Captain America is, I think Paul Rudd is an actor people will go and just like check out, especially specifically the first Ant-Man. I think people were a lot more open-minded to the first Ant-Man because it was just Paul Rudd. Ant-Man's an unfamiliar character. It's a Marvel movie, superhero movie, plus it's supposed to be funny because Paul Rudd. So I think the first one probably had a lot more people paying attention to it than I think Ant-Man character has retained by a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. The magic died after Endgame was literally the Endgame.
Yeah.
And
No Way Home was the end game.
I guess. But Ant-Man's projected budget was 200 million. And
Mhm.
you're saying Captain America Brave New World cost 20 million less, even though they shot the movie twice and a half?
This is why you know they're lying. And I mean, we've been paying super close attention to these numbers. We know that there have been reshoots, a bunch of reshoots. We know that they have changed their stories up. We know that the CGI, this movie is doused in CGI. It might as well be a fucking anime. It's got so much CGI in it. So
Unnecessary CGI.
yeah. Gone are the days of practical effects where you save money and make a better film.
Remember the 4 hours of behind the scenes for every Lord of the Rings film? And they were just like, this is how we made the fucking movie.
Yeah. It's
now you just be watching 4 hours of a dude just sitting at a computer, just like moving lips and arms of a character.
Yeah. If even that, it's like putting in Chat GPT, make me a Hulk movie.
Right.
Make me a Hulk.
Make me the Incredible Hulk Part 2.
Yeah.
But don't include the Hulk.
So, okay, the movie as of this weekend, or up to this weekend, was a 211 million with a 70% drop off. You're looking at that being much. It's not even going to get halfway to the 500 million estimated, or more realistic estimated budget with the marketing material, with the theater fees, with everything that Marvel's going to have to pay.
This thing's going to top out at 300, I think.
I think people really...
Because word of mouth is not good. Word of mouth will carry a movie. That's how Guardians of the Galaxy ended up doing so good. Because it started off kind of mid, but it carried weeks and weeks afterwards. People are like, yeah, it's actually not that bad. You should go see it.
Well, and what sucks is that there's actually a movie out there that we've agreed with the critic score on more than the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Which is bizarre, because we've looked over
the first time it's happened to me in years.
Well, here's the thing. We've looked over the audience reviews here, and most of them are giving it they're saying the movie had these problems and then still giving it a 10 out of 10. So they're saying they're acknowledging the issues exist, but refusing to adjust their scores based on it.
Right. They're like, it's not the greatest thing I've ever seen. 4 out of 5.
Yeah, it's like
what? That's a damn near perfect movie.
Yeah.
I'm sick of I think IGN did this to people where 7 out of 10 is basically it's an average, where they put 7 as the average now.
Yeah.
It's no, a 5 is an average, just bland movie.
So let me pull up some of these reviews and we'll just go over a couple of them real quick. It was not a good movie. It was a good movie.
I read it that way too.
It was a good movie, not groundbreaking, but good, fun. I enjoyed it. At 4 out of 5.
8 out of 10. What?
That's an 8 out of 10. That's
What is your 9s and 7s like, bro?
Dude, it's it's not great. Okay, here we go. The movie was awesome. The aerial fight scene over the ocean was was top 10 combat scene in the MCU. You and me might actually disagree on this position because there are so few aerial fight scenes in the MCU in totality. That the top 10 fight scenes in the MCU, if he just added the modifier of aerial combat...
Top 10 aerial combat fights? He's like, yeah, there's only 5 of them.
It'd be this one would be this one would hold the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th and 6th position, and then you get the first Iron Man movie where he's kind of not fighting those fighter jets. You got some of Iron Man in the first Avengers movie, Age of Ultron, basically just when you have Iron Man fighting drones in the sky.
Yeah,
this is all you really get for aerial combat. Oh, here we go. Okay, so Harrison Ford was a phenomenal recasting. I'm sure William Hurt would be proud. I can't wait to see Sam and Joaquin's relationship grow as they give off a father and son like duo. Last but not least, Sam is Captain America. I do wish he took the serum though. Can't wait for Marvel to keep pushing forward.
Did you get a father and son vibe from those two?
Mentor apprentice, but father son no.
This is more like buddy.
I got kind of a
Sam is a year ahead of him in high school kind of relationship.
Maybe it's fanboy, weird, famous person vibe.
So Diddy Party stuff.
Yeah, Joaquin was very, very, very fanboying over him. Definitely better than expected, giving the naysayers. It didn't blow me away like Deadpool and Wolverine, but I liked it. Oddly enough, it feels like a sequel to Incredible Hulk, which that should be enough to knock it down a point, because that's the story. It's a Captain America movie. It's miscategorized. It's obviously not Captain America's story. I don't think that's as big of an issue. That, like, is the title wrong? Is that a big issue? Not really to me, but it's still like it just shows that you aren't critically applying anything to this movie. Like, you're not really thinking about how the movie did in any meaningful way.
Well, and like Ryan said from RK Outpost, is like, these reviewers are people that are like in the Marvel, like they dig the new Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
And they go out of their way to like, in order to create these reviews, you have to have a Fandango account. You have to link your Fandango account to Rotten Tomatoes. So anyone that's going through all that bullshit is going to be like more.
Well, and then you have guys like this who like obviously didn't even see the movie. Steve Rogers was going to be a tough act to follow. Sam Wilson is a worthy successor. That's an opinion, not a truth. This movie doesn't try to be like those that came before it. It tries so hard to be like the movies that came before it.
It stole from every other movie in the franchise.
And it literally, the script line, at least in like one segment of the movie, the plot line follows the Winter Soldier arc almost line by line.
I like this line towards the end, though. She says, "Don't listen to the critics. You were one of those critics.
Don't listen to him.
You?
Ignore, or Sarah W. Ignore Sarah W. She's a tard.
Fuck you, Sarah."
Yeah. All right. Love seeing Marvel movies at theaters. So much better than seeing Marvel stories on streaming. Great special effects. Can't wait. The special effects were terrible. They were horrible.
The movie was hard to look at.
Yeah, this is CGI the whole time and not even good. But the news is okay. Anthony Mackie should have been leading man a long time ago. Some dialogue is a little cheesy, but it goes with superhero movies. So you're obvious. So you're not
okay. So you don't expect good dialogue in any of your movies.
Yeah. Thanks for rating them.
Yeah.
Thanks for helping us out with that.
That's a low bar, bro.
The lowest part of the movie was the post-credit scene. So you didn't like a part of the movie. No spoilers, but the news is 10 years too late.
The post-credit scene is so inconsequential that no one's even talked about it. I have no idea what it was.
It was
read that 5-star review right there, though.
The top one, this one. Okay. Best movie of all time. Don't know why people are hating so much about this movie. It's the best movie of February 2025.
No, it's the best movie of all time. You're contradicting yourself.
Yeah, you already just fucked up, dude. You're just shitting on yourself now. You're just making fun of yourself. But honestly, this movie, or this could have been. You could edit this whole thing to be correct if you said worst movie of all time, worst movie.
No, you could still say best movie of February.
There were almost no good movies in February, and we said that this movie was not like this is still better than the Marvels.
Yeah, it's not offensively bad. It's just bad.
Yeah, it's just bad film. All right, overall, I found the movie to be great. It was basically an introduction to the next phase of the MCU. I thought it did an excellent job on that. Highly recommend.
You don't even know what phase you're in, bro.
Yeah. All right. I think we basically get the point. We're giving this thing. People are giving this thing. Wait, what?
It's a 5.
Hold on.
It's a 10 out of 10, but it's 7.5 out of 10.
Okay. This was okay. Yeah. So Brandon J verified on Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 5 out of 10.
A 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5. Thank you. 10. This was a 7.5 out of 10. The only people who would rank it lower are doing it because of obvious reasons.
What's the obvious reason? Do it. Say it. Say it. You don't like it because you're racist.
You hate Wilson. You hate him because he's black.
You hate him because he's black.
How dare you?
Black man can't be African American.
Yeah, the same fandom who absolutely jumped out of their seats for every other project that he was in the MCU besides the Phase 4 projects. All of them immediately became racist as soon as he tried to grow as a character. Yeah, hard fuck off. The movie's just shit.
How much does he think this country's changed in the past 6 years when Black Panther grossed over $1.5 billion?
That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that all of these things about race.
Like that movie,
yeah,
it was fine, but people don't like this movie and now they're racist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get it? Do you get it?
I don't, and that's the problem.
Don't understand you people. You're insane.
Use logic.
You are insane. Now,
argue with reason.
How did Black Panther 2 do? I would be curious to know those numbers.
Abysmal.
I mean, I don't think anyone wanted to see a Black Panther that wasn't Chadwick or Chad Bruswick. I'm getting his name.
You had it the first time.
Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, there you go.
Fuck you. I tried.
I mean, you were doing good. It's all right, Pumpkin.
I always second guess myself, and that's my mistake. I should just double down on everything I think.
Oh yeah, it's called Wakanda Forever. I like how they just marketed this movie using Chadwick's death.
Mm.
Like, yeah, that's not disrespectful at all.
I mean, to be fair, I was just making a joke about the Ghostbusters guy being CGI'd into a Ghostbusters movie for a meme.
They used Chadwick's death to elevate this marketing on Black Panther 2. But
what's more offensive?
William Hurt as General Ross died, and he was recast before he was even cold in his grave.
Yeah. What's more offensive, that they did it or that they failed to succeed?
Oh, yes, is the answer.
Yes is the answer to both. All right. I think we got one. Anything else to cover with Captain America? I think that pretty much does Captain America, right?
It's dog shit. It's another Marvel thing. It's like these things are getting so tired of. It's every time a Marvel movie comes out, it's basically we're having the same argument between one side of the internet and the other side of the internet.
Yeah.
Like one side's like, you're racist or sexist, you don't like it, blah, blah, blah. And the other one's like, no, it's dog shit and it's not going to make any money.
Yeah.
Or if you come up with something good, maybe we could all agree on something.
Maybe we could all like it. Yeah. Imagine how hard it would be to like make a decent film. All you'd have to do is fire all of the people you currently have employed under your wing.
Well, this whole like the racist argument or whatever, you don't like a black man being Captain America. It's like the ones they're calling racist are the same people that were saying that Finn in the Star Wars sequel trilogy, the dog show one.
Yep.
Finn had the most potential and was the best character.
Yeah.
I
actually think that the entire cast of the Star Wars like the sequel trilogy were horrible, and I do think that like Finn had the most potential and could have been the best character. I think that that's true. I think he would have been good, but they basically like made him completely irrelevant. He had to fall in love with that Asian midget who was another annoying bitch for no fucking reason.
That's another thing they turned on the internet. It's like, stop being so mean to this Asian lady. It's like, no, we're not being mean to her. We're being mean to the dude that wrote that fucking character because that character sucked dick.
And why are you all so agnostic on the fact that China keeps removing black people from their posters, and yet you keep ragging on us because we say the movie is bad? Not that I think Anthony Mackie could do a good job as Captain America with better writing and better script and better directing and a better studio behind him. I don't think he
do better, writers.
I think Anthony Mackie can act. I think we all know he can. I think we all know he could do a good job as Captain America. We're not blaming Anthony Mackie. We're blaming the studio.
Yeah.
The studio sucks. Anthony Mackie.
Studio that sucks ass.
Anthony Mackie did a bad job in this movie, but I don't.
Everyone did a bad job in this movie.
Everyone did a bad job. I don't think it's his fault. Now, now the Mexican kid. No, I'm just kidding.
Mexican kid.
I'm just, yeah.
You know what's funny though is that speaking of that Asian lady from The Last Jedi, it's like they put like an Asian in it to appeal to the Chinese audience because they want those Chinese bucks.
Yep.
But little side note, she's Vietnamese. And I don't know if you know this, but the Chinese do not like the Vietnamese.
Oh, how did they tell? I mean, I'm not saying anything. I'm just asking a question.
I mean, I don't know what
I can barely tell when gingers look different.
That's because you hate white people.
Yeah. I hate them so much because of the white people. I hate them so much. All the oppression and racisms that they do. That's why I hate white people so much. All right, we got it.
Because we were the one and only people to do slavery.
Yeah, no one else ever thought of it.
It started and stopped in the 1700s.
You know,
or I guess 1800s.
This is completely off topic from the episode, and we'll see if I can catch it in post, so I can pull this from this part of the conversation specifically. But about racism and slavery,
let's talk about it.
Well, I just wanted to ask your opinion on this. Like, my understanding of slavery and the role it played in like human development as a species was it was kind of the only way to develop economically at scale.
You
But-
know, Louis C.K. has a bit about this.
I don't know. I've not seen
Like,
that.
oh my God, those pyramids! How'd they build them? Well, they threw human death and suffering at it until it was finished. It's like every great accomplishment throughout human civilization was done with slavery.
That's what I mean. It's like before we had the Industrial Revolution, before we had like more technology and we had like advanced ways to crop and stuff like that. I mean, slavery was the only way to mass produce food, to mass produce anything.
Yeah, how did they go across this great nation building the railroad? And so, well, we threw Chinese people in caves and blew them up. Because there's nothing you can't do when you don't give a fuck about his particular race.
What is it with us in blowing up Asian peoples unnecessarily? Why do we do it so much? It doesn't seem like, and even now we're like, China's our number one enemy. They gotta go. I really like him, but he's being a dick. They want Taiwan. That can't happen.
What Taiwan?
We're doing an elephant march.
We got a censor for the Chinese.
No, we don't.
What Taiwan? I've never heard of that.
Also,
place.
hard fuck that. No. Well, but my question is, so I'm just pointing out what I understand from history. I'm not making a moral claim about the goods and bads of slavery. I'm just pointing out
Please play the devil's advocate.
I'm just articulating my understanding of how slavery happened and what its economic utility was.
I'm gonna love the comment section.
Here's my question. If slavery was abolished 1,000 years earlier, would we have advanced faster out of a need as a species? Would we have developed other means of like advanced technology faster through necessity?
I mean, it wouldn't have stopped slavery, but I get what you're saying, and no.
You don't. So just can you expand on that?
I mean, the expansions that we made throughout history were with mass producing and like a mass workforce, and you just can't do that ethically.
Sure. So if you had like a voluntary like camp of people,
yeah, the communists in California would be like, yeah, man, we'll help you out. And it's like, no, you're gonna be sitting on your iPhone and
yeah, exactly. I suppose. But I mean,
scratching the cheese out of your armpits.
Yeah, I mean, again, slavery still goes on today. It's kind of
there's more slaves now than there have ever been.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird. I hate having conversations about slavery with people who are like, America's so racist and we have a history of slavery. I was like, dude, you're not even remotely interested in the slavery that happens today. So I don't take
that happened before America either.
Yeah, I don't take you seriously. It's not like it's it's not like it was a good thing for Americans to enslave people, and so I am anti that. But
I mean, it was just what everyone was doing back then, you know?
Everyone,
you gotta be hip.
Everyone was a slave.
Everyone was doing it.
Yeah.
Do you want to miss out? I mean, FOMO.
All right. Speaking of slave, no, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh wow,
we're cutting that out. You know what? We're not even going to the next topic because there's no way to like forgive me for that.
No way to come back from that one.
We just hit 500 subscribers and
we lost 12.
We just hit 500 subscribers and I'm trying to apply for like the monetization thing, and now we're ruined.
Should we go from slavery to Jesus?
We have to,
and the
right?
Jewish slaves?
Yeah. Do you think Jesus ever owned no, I'm just kidding.
Do you know Jesus was a Jew?
Oh my god. Like,
Well,
which do you think he would have been pro-Palestine or pro-Israel?
I'm going to plead the fifth on that one. I'm not going to comment on that.
We don't know what Jesus thought.
All right, we just got
He was
over
very unclear about his positions on most things. He's very unclear. He didn't like have any established positions at all. No,
I don't
even know what he believed.
Say what a Jew from 2,000 years ago would.
We are so fucked.
Be supporting now.
This one's scuffed. You know what? I'm going to help us out a little bit. We're going to start that one over. All right, let's get into the next. I can't. All right, let's get into the next topic. We got this one's going to be a little interesting. I saw this story. The first introduction I had to this story was actually on Piers Morgan when he was covering it last week. He brought on Nerdrotic and a few other people to talk about.
Yeah, that was like yesterday, bro.
Yeah, we're not
that's same week.
Fuck you. Last work week. Do I have to keep doing that every time?
Be right if you don't have to.
You're such a nitpicky bitch.
Yeah, just do better.
All right, fine. So the topic is around Jesus Christ Superstar, the play, and basically we have Cynthia Erivo, I know I fucked that up. Playing Jesus Christ in the play. And you know what?
The resemblance is uncanny.
They look exactly alike. You know that like old portrait, the oil painting of Jesus Christ, where he's got like the six pack. He's like that. It. Sorry. Like Hollywood playwrights do this shit all the time, and I think not to overreact about this one. Like they obviously intended to offend. That's the intent behind this shit. It's not like they're bringing out people to preach the gospel to them. This is obviously just an attack on Christianity.
As far as I'm aware, too, it's an all-female production. So
yeah, you know what?
It's just they're getting their liberal jollies off. So
and you know what? In my mind, it goes back to the like when you pay attention to a bully, if you ignore them, that you take the wind out of their sails. You kill off all these major companies that are doing this shit by just ignoring them. Like CNN is like losing relevancy, like, and all of these major corporations and these big studios are losing money and relevancy because people stopped paying attention to them. Like when Lucasfilms keeps baiting people into like, you're racist, you're an asshole, you're a bad person, you're a misogynist for not liking The Acolyte. It's like, your opinion is. I'm writing it off. Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to this, that one gay dude on Piers Morgan, I actually agreed with this time, where it's like, I don't really care. One, it's a play. It's a parody play.
Yeah.
From Hollywood, and from the dawn of plays, chicks have been playing dudes and whatnot in it, so don't really care.
Even in movies and TV show, you'll have.
Yeah. And the other part is like, compare it to Cleopatra that came out like last year, the year before. Like that obviously is wrong because it was like a
historical.
It was trying to be historical accurate and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
This is just like a parody play with fucking rock music.
And again, like it's like Hamlet 2, where it's just a play. It's just a play.
I don't give a fuck.
This is not basically.
It's like they're doing this to get our side of the internet offended and whatnot, and everyone's just like, "Of course you're doing this, and I don't care."
Yeah, I wish Slim was on because I would have loved to have taken heard his perspective on it, just from someone who's a bit more like religious. So, but I do think that this is going to be one of those turn the other cheek things. Like, ignore them. They are irrelevant. These people don't matter. The fact that they are spitting on like Christianity, there's not a reason to engage with them.
They've been doing that for years.
They've been doing it exactly. They've been doing it for a long time. Now, I'm not saying it's not offensive. It obviously is. So do with that what you will. But
I don't know what the Christian community's opinions are on the play in general, because the play's been like a thing since the 70s. So
yeah, it's not like it's brand new. So exactly. I mean, I
don't know how like parody it is. Is it more like the Book of Mormon, where the South Park guys were like respectful to Mormon faith, but it was still just like this goofy ass play or whatever?
Well, doesn't that just speak to the fact that like you and I can't say definitively what the play is like even about? Like we don't even know the plot of it.
It's about Judas and Jesus.
But this is how irrelevant it is. It's not.
Judas has a #1 hit in the song, actually. In the play.
Ooh, yeah.
Apparently he rocks it.
Rock me, sexy Jesus.
Is that a song from it, or is it from...
That's from Hamlet too.
I know, but is it also like they're making fun of Jesus Christ Superstar, whatever the fuck it's called?
I don't think so. First off, Hamlet,
I don't watch plays, so I don't know.
It's like these people don't matter. They're so unimportant. Like this plot, like it's like...
Judas is a falsetto, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah, in case you were wondering.
Historical accuracy matters.
Yeah.
I always assume he was an alto, considering how hard he squealed. That's a singing joke.
Yeah. I got the double entendre pun. Yeah.
I appreciate it. Anyway, takeaways from this are just
null and void.
Yeah. Basically, we thought it was worth talking about mainly because
it's like, we did this. Aren't you guys angry? Don't care.
Right. And basically what
You're doing what you've always done.
Yeah, we brought this one up basically just to downplay it. Like, it's not a big deal. Like,
Peter's a baritone.
ooh,
Yeah. Low.
I didn't even know they had bears in Israel.
Gotta go low.
They're getting worse. My jokes are getting worse. All right. But yeah, so I think that pretty much covers it, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode. We hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to smash that like button to help us reach out further into the YouTube algorithm. We want to thank you guys, all of you, for helping us reach 500 subscribers. It means a lot to us. We can do a lot with that as far as growing the channel. We're going to start looking into doing memberships for you guys and other things we can do to try to add more value to the channel and make your guys' experience here better and more fun. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow. We have Sunday Slackers coming back. We are back to the raft. We're going to be exploring the vast oceans together again.
We're going to finish it.
I don't
care if it takes 8 hours.
We're doing it live. We're doing it. So, guys, don't forget, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. We're still trying to grow. We have a long way to go, and we have a lot in the horizon to look forward to. So help us grow. Let's keep going. Let's keep getting bigger together. And don't forget to go tell your stories. See you guys on the next one. Peace out.
Tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits. Don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life.